everyone. Today we will have our fourth lecture of stereochemistry, which is based on three-dimensional structure. As we know, stereochemistry deals with the three-dimensional structure. The three-dimensional structure are represented in two-dimensional structure on the plane of paper or blackboard because it cannot be represented in the three-dimensional structure on the plane of paper. So how it is represented? We will see the methods. Three-dimensional structure is represented in the four methods, mainly flying wedge, Newman, Fischer, and Sawhorse projection. We will see each of the following in details. The most common method of representing the three-dimensional structure is by using flying wedge formula, also called Wedge dot formula. A solid wedge or a heavy line represents the bond projecting towards or above the plane of paper. And the broken or the dotted line represents the bond away or below the plane of paper. And the simple continuous line indicates the bond in the plane of paper. So this is how flying wedge formula is represented. This formula is convenient for represent a molecule with one asymmetric carbon and can be applied carefully to molecule with the two asymmetric carbon. But if there are more than two asymmetric carbon, then such formula becomes very complicated, hence it is unsuitable. Therefore, the other projection formula are used to represent the molecule in the plane of paper. So, first projection formula we will see is the Newman projection formula. This formula can be drawn only for the molecule having two carbon atoms. The formula can be obtained by projecting the molecule such that the central carbon bond is perpendicular to the plane of paper. Thus, the molecule is viewed along carbon-carbon bond axis. Hence, the rear carbon atom cannot be seen. It is covered by the front carbon atom. The front carbon atom is represented by a point from which the three bonds radiate from its circumference. The rear carbon atom is represented by a circle where the three bonds radiate from its circumference. The central carbon bond is not visible. Due to the rotation about the single carbon-carbon bond, the atom on the group on the adjacent carbon can assume different relative position, resulting in different conformation. Molecule has two conformations called as staggered and eclipsed form, which can be represented as follows. If one of the carbon is rotated through 60 degrees, then one form changes to another. The Newman formula is more suitable to represent the conformation of the molecule obtained by the rotation about carbon-carbon bond. That is, the distance between the adjacent group and the repulsion between them can be easily understood. In this formula, as the central carbon-carbon bond is visible, the fate of this bond during chemical reaction cannot be understood. So, when we rotate the bond by 60 degree, we will get another conformation, that is an eclipse conformation, and this one is the staggered conformation. When we will again rotate the eclipse conformation through 60 degree, then we will get the staggered conformation. So this is how we can change the conformation in the Newman projection. In Sawhorse projection, the molecule is projected by holding it in that the central carbon-carbon bond is at angle to the plane of paper. On the plane of paper, central carbon-carbon bond is drawn as an elongated line at an angle of 45 degree to the horizontal line. The Sawhorse formula can be used to draw the conformation of the molecule. Thus, the rotation about a single bond can be easily explained. In this formula, carbon-carbon bond is clearly visible. Hence, it is useful in representing the stereochemical reaction. In this is the eclipse conformation. But if we rotate one of the carbon atom by 60 degree, its conformation changes from eclipse to staggered. As such that in the Newman projection. The next projection is Fischer projection. Fischer developed two-dimensional plane projection formula for three-dimensional molecule. This projection formula are particularly useful for carbohydrates, and amino acids. Which may have chiral atom. Fischer projection are particularly useful for the compound with two or more stereogenic center. Fischer projection is written with the longest carbon chain vertically extending from the top to the bottom with all the group eclipsed. It cannot be written in the staggered conformation. The staggered conformation is restricted in the Fischer projection. The vertical line on the end carbon atom represents a bond that is projected behind the plane of paper. The central carbon-carbon bond is on the plane of paper. The horizontal line represents the carbon-carbon atom, that is usually one that is the stereogenic center. The horizontal line represents the bond that projects above the plane of paper. The intersection of the vertical and the horizontal line represents the carbon atom. You can see some of the examples of the Fischer projection. Over here, the carbon atom is the stereogenic center, so it is at the intersection of this vertical and the horizontal line, and the bond above the plane of paper is represented as on the horizontal line, and bond which is below the plane of paper is represented on the vertical line. So here is an example of conversion of Fischer to the Newman to the horse. Here are the two carbon atom. This is the front carbon atom and this is the rear carbon atom. So the front carbon atom is over here, it is represented by the dotted line, and the rear carbon is represented as the circle. So this H is represented here, this chlorine atom is represented here, and this C2OH is represented over here. Now the representation of the rear carbon bonds. In this, it is not rotated by 60 degree or any other angle, hence it will be the eclipse. The hydrogen is represented here, OH bond and CHO. When we rotate the front carbon by 180 degree, we will get the staggered conformation of the Newman projection. And when it is viewed through 45 degree angle, the carbon-carbon bond, we will get the Sawhorse projection. This is how the conversion is done, and it is very important and it is frequently asked in the exams. Here is the second example of the Sawhorse projection converted to Newman projection. This is the red carbon atom is the front carbon atom, hence it is represented by the dot, and the green carbon atom is the rear carbon atom, hence it is represented by the circle. This is how the conversion takes place. Thank you for watching.